Good morning and welcome, honored guests, parents, teachers, administration, family, and friends. Today is the big day. We are finally here. They almost had us in the first half of the year, but we made it. Isn't that crazy? I mean, not only are we the graduating class, but just look how many of us made it here. Before the tears start flowing like Niagara Falls, I want to say that I truly am blessed with the honor and privilege of standing up here on behalf of our graduating class. I would also like to say that if you begin to feel a cold draft in here, it just means that you're probably sitting next to Mr. Coleman. To be honest, a short speech doesn't seem like nearly enough time to talk about what makes the class of 16 so special. Our perseverance, our determination, our dedication, our academic and athletic accomplishments, our insane arts talent, our journey, and of course, our charm and good looks must be acknowledged today. We really came a long way, and I'll tell you, time flew by, with the exception to Mr. Demores and Mr. O'Seal's boundless morning reflections in our junior years. In all seriousness, for many of us, this journey began nearly 4 years ago during the Head Start program. Yes, we earned a credit for it, but it truly was the opportunity to have a head start on our high school lives. We walked into this building unaware of the magnitude of the moment and what it truly meant for us. We entered this building, we entered what seemed to be another dimension, a place where we no longer were the big fish in the pond. Let's be honest, we probably felt more like plankton in an ocean. It was a place more strange and frightening than anything we'd ever seen before, even Mr. McAlpine's walk. Then, we stepped foot, no pun intended, into what would be our home away from home for the most sensitive years of our lives. Imagine this, if we had perfect attendance, we spent about 4,600 hours in this building. We met our second parent, our TA. We met our TA brothers and sisters. We built so many bridges, and we have shared so many good times. For a lot of us, the floors became our beds in this building. Of course, I'm talking about Oasis, our grade 9 orientation and sleepover, AKA the place where all preconceived notions about the horrors of high school were quickly dismissed from our psyche. We didn't realize it at the time, but Oasis was the glue that brought our grade together. And it wasn't that 2 for $3 dollar round glue. Oh no, I'm not playing around. I'm talking about that heavy-duty Gorilla Glue. We soon discovered the mysterious ways of Mary Ward, and we all blended together like stew in the crock pot. It took a while, but when we came together, it was, and still is, pretty amazing. There was the geography trip to Niagara Falls in grade 9. We learned about how Earth's processes form the land, but this was our first field trip that we had as a grade, and many of us strengthened the relationships that we were forming with our new friends. In grade 10 came the Ottawa trip. It was one of the first times that we had a taste of some real freedom, but more importantly, ample units were received. There were so many amazing trips that we were fortunate enough to experience, like the annual art trips to New York, the French department's trip to France and Spain, the business and family studies trips to the St. Lawrence Market, the phys ed department's senior camping trips, as well as the Stratford trips with the drama and English departments. To add to the abundance of trips that we'll never forget, there was the band trip last year to Europe. The countless hours of work that went into perfecting the numerous performances, coupled with being immersed in the European culture, spelled for the experience of a lifetime. Without a doubt, we could reminisce for days about all the trips that we took during our high school lives. We truly are a talented and well-rounded class. We have students who excel academically, as seen at awards night, students that consistently earn awards for their efforts in our school's newspaper, the Mary Ward Planet, students who produce masterful pieces of art, whether it's in film, woodshop, manufacturing, or tech. Students who excel in their sports team, like our OFSA gold medal champions in 2014. Students who always volunteer at school events to help things go smoothly. And of course, students who are always willing to help you out with your unit work, you the real MVP. I think we can agree that the beauty of our graduating class is our ability to better ourselves and to improve our community by coming together. This year, we held a more than successful fundraiser for Syrian refugees called Songs for Syria, led by Mr. Caravan and Mr. Moore. Who could forget the Sea of Red during this year's Spirit Week? We figuratively and literally shook up the school with our school spirit. The science department seemed pretty scared at first, but we all had our lanyards on, so they seemed to relax on it. Then there's the art show. Our grade 9 show, Conundrum, was the first opportunity to showcase our artistic talent. And as the years went by, this talent continued to grow to an incredible extent. This year's show was Chimera, a classified classic. Year after year, we never failed to impress the onlookers with our jaw-dropping installations. Speaking of impressive, our music students unfailingly bless our ears with musical pieces that always have us yearning for more by the end of the concert. Not to mention, there are our incredible theatrical performances. Rolling laughter filled the auditorium in grade 9 with the production of Caesar and Cleo. And this year's show was, of course, The Music Man. The musical talents of this year's leads, one of whom is in our graduating class, served as yet another example of just how much we've accomplished over the years. This year held our last SAC dance, our last night out at semi-formal, our last athletic banquet, our last Christmas concert, our last Advent service project, our last winter activity day out with our friends, our last TA interview, and the last time we'll write in our Mary Ward agenda. We've learned so much about the world, as well as ourselves, these past 4 years. Like how 6 hours of total homework time can actually mean 15 hours, and how efficiently the teenage brain can work when there's 4 years to go, but only 3 weeks left of school. With the help of our teachers and staff, we learned what true teamwork and dedication means. We learned that sometimes too much freedom is a troublesome thing. We also learned that if you're ever having trouble with a math test, think of the squirrels, and Mr. East will be there for you. However, if there's one thing we learned throughout this frantic roller coaster of mayhem and discovery that we call high school, it's that we all have something to contribute to the world. No matter who we are, or what we look like, or where we come from, or who we identify ourselves to be, we all have one thing in common. One powerful, intangible, 3-syllable word that nothing and no one can take from us. It's called potential. Potential allows us to make a difference in the world. In life, some people may say, take the road less traveled, or follow your heart, or reach for the stars. But what they should be saying is that we all possess potential. It's just waiting to be unlocked. Wherever we go in life, we must never doubt our own potential, because the moment we start doubting ourselves is the moment our dreams and ambitions slip away from our grasp. Drake once said, "Know yourself." We need to remember that this building helped transform us into the people that we are today. At times, we thought we were going through difficult times, whether it resulted from schoolwork or other issues. We learned that every experience brought something more that we could add on to ourselves. It's a bittersweet moment, but our high school lives have come to an end. That being said, we wouldn't be able to make it this far without some help. Okay, a lot of help. Like from our teachers who bombarded our brains with knowledge and often volunteered their time to coach and supervise us during club meetings and other co-curricular activities. Help from administration and EAs and other staff that help keep this school running like a well-oiled machine. Help from the hall monitors who are always willing to offer some words of wisdom to students in crisis. Help from the custodians who are brave enough to enter and clean the girls' and boys' washroom on a daily basis. And finally, help from our TAs and our parents who act as the wind to our sails and who have guided us thus far. And so, that brings us to this very point in time, the beginning of new beginnings, an unlocked door to our potential and our future. But before we all get ready for prom, I would like to say, graduates of 2016, out.